Hey, hi, hello. So today's stream we will see how to program for Business Central, and this series I will teach you how to program for Business Central, how to be an ERP expert for your own good, and to have an blessing careers for your own site. So I'm sharing my screen. I hope you can see my screen. So as we have seen that Business Central is a very popular tool nowadays to have your all attention in it. Thank you for having me on. You are joining this stream. If you're seeing this as a recorded lecture, then yes, be with it. So this is Microsoft Business Central 365 Business Central Developer Associate. There is a super associate with it, but a developer associate, you're going to design, develop, test, and maintain solutions for Business Central. So when we compare Business Central with other Microsoft apps like Power App and higher Dynamics 365 apps, that Business Central is like in a sweet spot. So Business Central app itself having a very vast power to manipulate data and very useful UI like an Power App. But of course, on a UI platform, you're not getting too much colors on it. On a SQL platform, data management platform, you have to work on sometimes uh, on a performance matrix because you're not using a low level language like you are using an FNO, finance and operation, you are using a very low level language. For this, Business Central is very good. So, as overview, you are responsible for designing, developing, testing, maintaining solution. What does these four words means? That you are a developer making solutions. So this is like you're totally making solutions by going through your customer's requirement, and you are developing that through your own. That this four words meaning. And as I identify, you are doing root cause for the problem, fixing the bugs, and testing the solution to ensure that it works as expected. So by doing this, and the functional consultant, you can develop your solutions by your own. You may require to optimize the performance here in Business Central. You may require to optimize the performance, finding the bottlenecks and improving the code quality. But believe me, that is not the everyday task. Everyday task is to make solutions. um, First, you have to be, before doing AL, you have to know about industry terminology and Business Central role and Microsoft 365 and the Dynamics 365. So Business Central is not kind of a Business Central is not kind of a type of, you can say, a bridge between two platforms. It's itself is a very big platform. uh, and as a developer, you're going to see the app source, Business Central related technologies, frameworks, and service to build solutions. So Business Central does not comes alone. It comes with its app source. So the app management has a lot of apps there that to help you to develop a better solution. And also there are some other technologies related to Business Central, like the API technology that Business Central have itself, the HTTP technology where we can talk to other platforms easily. So these kind of things Business Center can do itself. As the technology application lifecycle management. So here, where we are doing technologies for application lifecycle management like source control management or CI/CD like Azure DevOps or all, yes, we are going to see this also in this course. So this course is totally very wide, but you can see that we can add another collections in it, another plans in it. But this is much, total plan of it. And then you have to take the practice and take the exams, and you will pass the exams. So, what are the things we are going to see? First is we get along with Business Central. What is Business Central? And then we'll see that application development best practices in Business Central. Here, You're not just seeing that how to code. That is not the bigger question right now. It's how you code. You like how syntax you're using. That is not the bigger thing. But you should go always by one simple trick, one simple plan, so that always whenever there is a requirement, a solution, you are going it very quickly. Because in this type of role where you are a developer, as a software developer, in ERPs and all, quickness, time is very important rather than the technology itself. Because the technology itself, like Business Central, is like in very higher up technologies. You are using AL language, which is not available in other platforms. It is just for Business Central, optimized, and you're using it just for the sake that you want to develop solutions in in this environment. So you need to be fast. That is more important. Um, Here you use deploy and configure solutions. Then you are discovering the foundation of Business Central, how to customize it, how to build reports in it. Uh, Believe me, if you are going to see these four one, you're getting 80% of your job, because 80% of your job is actually just the learning you need to do. 80% of your jobs is how to build reports, how to customize the foundational customizations like basic one, configure, and the application development. After that, like this, learn Business Central, AL programming and all. If you have half knowledge, then it is enough to start a job. But until this, you need 100% knowledge. Until this one, until the report one, because that is 80% of your work. 80% times you're getting the same work. Then you're going to see that what is the application of AL programming language, about the data management, interfaces, tailor rules. One essential way that other platforms and Business Central, like you're learning Python programming, you're learning R programming, a lot of thousand languages are there out there to butcher your head. Because they don't give you a specific way of using these languages. So here, this is the best part: work with essential development standards for Business Central, continuous integration, and Power App. This 1 3 hour lecture is more important than anything, because in this lecture you're going to see, for work with essential development standards, you're going to see how to develop, how to do your task daily. So if you're doing learning paths will help you. So first is identify the functional table types and characteristics in Business Central. So what are the functional table types? There are some functional table types like master table, supplement table, subsidiary table, ledger table, register table, journal table, document table, setup table. So these are your functional table types. So if I'm going here, you see this is the list of functional table types. This is the last type that is not mentioned there. It was the document table and document history table. That is not mentioned there, but that is also an important table. So you see this document table here. The document tables are secondary transaction table where enable entries for one or multiple applications. So this is the base of Business Central. If you are not familiar with this, you're not going to see any of your success in Business Central. The second is implement data process model. So how your data process model is going to work. We'll just go some typical, and then you're going to see state up table, singleton design pattern. This is the design pattern that we have. And then there is a document standard. So these are the document standard. What are the document standard? How the document standard will work. This is the most essential part of Business Central than anything else. If you are learning this, then you're going to be a developer. If you're not learning this, even if you're very good in BAL programming, you're not going to be a good developer. Because a good developer is not in the service industry. A good developer is not who is very versed with the language, very good with the language, but the person who can deliver the task easy and smooth way to the client. That is very important. Then there is a data management. How does Business Central work with the data? So first is file management. So here you work with the file, work with the temp blob job, and then they handle multiple files upload and file drop zones. So this is very important. Then we are work with XML ports. So these are the XML ports, and work with queries. So Business Central can allow you to query. So I'm just going inside of this. So in this module, you're going to see the query can be used to retrieve data from different tables. One you need a query translate into efficient SQL queries that run on Business Central database. A query can be used to export data to an XML or CSV file, but it can be also used as a data source for API and Power BI reports. So this is very important. Many situations occur where iterative data access is incorrect, and Business Central has access to the powerful relational database management. So what is iterative? When you want data from somewhere, you have two ways to take data. One is you can just ask for the whole table. Second, you can ask for one by one row. But when you're going to combine two tables, how you're going to ask? Either you have to ask for one by one row, or you just have to ask for the whole table. So only you can do that only from Microsoft SQL, that you can ask for the whole table, where the joining or all the processes are done in SQL, and on API they just send the result. That is can be only done by SQL. The query object of Business Central enable you to define relational data models that are translated into efficient select statement. This SQL server can run the statement as single data retrieval option operation. This approach helps ensure optimal performance. Queries specify data set from Business Central database. For retrieval of fast and efficient way, you can use queries to retrieve data from one or more tables. Flat result set, you can specify how many join multiple tables can have. So you can use this table source of charts in Business Central, save them as XML or CSV, access them from AL code, publish this as a OData platform to Power BI. So you can do anything with these query data. So query scenarios are written here. Now we will see how to write a query. So you can see the query, ID my query. So the query is from data item. It is querying this much data, and there is a variable called myInt integer that trigger on or before open. So this is the query. So the query type property is there. We'll go in detail in it, but this is the query API v1 customer sales. So query type is API, API publisher is console, app1, and you're going to see this that this query is going to be like an API. So what happens is query type property help you to define how the query is used. This property has two possible values, normal or API. The normal is default value if you want to use the in Power BI report or access by API call, you need to set query type property to API. So normal is when you are using that within Business Central. But if you set it as a API, then you can use above along with the query type property. You also need to set the API publisher, API group, API version, entity name, and entity set name. So these much of things are here. You can see, and they in the API name of the data columns filter should be used camel casing. What is camel casing? It is when the second word of your second word of your query has a capital letter at start. That's called camel casing. Instead of using customer number, it is using or customer number. You should use this customer number. So this is the camel casing. You're getting all the items. So first is data item, customer, column, system ID, and you're getting this. Now we'll just see that joining, the cross join, filter join, inner join, left outer join, left right outer join. So these are the joins. So we are seeing that available quantity in QC line, column filter property. These much of things that can be used. So in totality, you're going to use a lot of data in it and the optimization in it. So this much is very much necessary to call yourself as a developer here. So now you can see that this Microsoft one has only these much of very important functions. First is you need to be very good at first four, or at least first this four. Then you need to be very good, very good in working essential development. This is like a go through of all developments. And then you need to be very good and the interfaces and AI languages and all. But AI can help you anywhere. But AI cannot help you in this first four one, because AI doesn't have the access to your all environment. AI cannot help you in working. You should know the standard practice of working in it, and you should know this basic table differences, like business central's tables have types like master table, supplement table. So if I just search it, so it will tell you that contains information about most important entities or function area. The primary focus of function area could be customer or receivable, vendor, payable, and item for inventory. Supplementary data is likely to be enrich the master data with supplementary data. In supplementary table, you store the data to relate it to countries such as country code. And these extra tables aren't as important as master table, but they provide additional information. Example, currency exchange rate. Setup table are they likely to need to some configuration for the solution. You can set up a configuration and customization in setup table. Example, a setup table using GL setup table, sales and receivable setup table. And there is a register table. This is like a register. It holds the historical information. So register table are GL register table. So most of the time the register tables are like rough tables. They don't hold permanent information. For your information, I'm telling you. Subsidiary table, these are the information master and supplement table. Item like item vendor information. Example of subsidiary table are item vendor and FA depreciation. So what is these subsidiary tables? Subsidiary tables are like a joint table. Okay, when two or more master tables have a transactions within it, they need to go to subsidiary table. A ledger table is totally an accounting thing. So the ledger table is where your transactions will be filled. Example of ledger table are customer ledger entry, item ledger entry, or extractor. And there is the journal table. Journal table is where you book through journal. So primarily it's a primary transaction entry. Some examples of journal tables are purchase journal or item journals. But believe me, these are not final. So there are two types. One is a posted, one is a non-posted. So non-posted are not final. Document table, when you enter a transaction, you need to document such as a sales quote or sales order. Document tables are secondary transaction table, and these tables are always comprised of two tables: a table with header information and table with details. For example, sales header and sales line contains information of how the document like sales order, sales quote. Document history table, these tables are historical versions of document table. When you post document from document tables, they go through a journal table and end up in document history table. So what happens is in the sales invoice header and sales invoice lines are document history table. So this is one difference in it. Um, so we'll go through this in next of our sessions. that what is master tables, what is secondary tables and all. But this is very, 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 very important. So this is like a configuration table, transaction table, and posted transaction tables. So configuration table is a setup, supplementary table, master table, subsidiary table. These are the configuration tables. And then transaction tables is document header, document line, and that goes to journal line, journal batch, and journal template. And then there is a posted transaction table, which is document history table and document history line. So document header and document line are going to document history table and history line, and then it's going to ledger entry and register. So register is like temporary thing, and that is going to ledger entry. But the journal lines and journal batch and journal template is also a temporary registers. So this is how it follows. So this part is temporary. This is permanent. This is totally permanent. This is totally temporary, operational. Okay, and this is totally permanent. So these both are operational, but this is like an day to day. You're just creating documents, and this is posted documents. So these configuration tables are created. Then you are using document standards. So we are going into document standards. In this module, you will learn how to work with document data after you enter master data into system, whether manually or importing it from historical systems. Financial transaction data can be based on the master data, and then you need to use these documents and journals. So what is it, we can go in the front. You can see that you need to create a document page. So what is happening? There is a document page, and document sub page. Document page going to header table. Document sub page is going to line table. But what happens like this? Okay, so this is a sales order where this part is a line are going into line tables, but this part is going to header tables. So here it is telling you that how these two are connected. Okay, how this one is connected to this one. Okay, in the previous example, sales order head page 42 is used to create, view or change sales order document like card page, card sales order page, and all, and grouped in several fast tabs. So these are fast tabs. Okay, general is one fast tab, second line is a fast tab. And in addition to these fast tabs, the page also contains a sub part that is displayed in the records called lines. So this is the sub part. And on the sales order page, the main page is associated with header table. The sales header table is table 36. It is not showing here, but this is the table 36 showing it down. And sales order or sub form or the sub page 46 is associated with line. So these are the line page. I'm going down. Okay, that is not showing here. Yeah, this is sales line page. So these are the two pages. Now, how these two are connected? The two pages are linked by document type and document number field, which is defined the relationship between sales header and sales line. So if I go to document type, I'm here. This is the document type and document number. The number is SORD 101001, and you need to see. So you can see that in the sales line, the field one document type is option. The option members are code, order, invoice, credit memo, and all. So these are the options. Field 2 is document number, say field 3, and that is sales header number where document type is equal to field document type. So it needs to change. So like how it is going to see. So when I'm seeing here the document type, I'm choosing sales order. So this is the order. It is written in double quote. So this is the order. Now the order is also here. So this is the order. The order is also here, and the document number. There is a relation. So document number is table relation sales order sales header and the number. So dot is where you can access the sales header tables column. So number is a column. So it is accessing sales orders number column, and that number column is where the document type is equal to document type. So this document type, this much is field document type. So of our document type is like order, then this is also order, and it is going to be linked. After you created header and lines, you can create document page and list page. The following example shows sales order subform based on sales line table. This page has a page type of list part, therefore it uses repeater. The delayed insert and auto split properties are set to be true. So the primary key fields document type number and line number are not used within the repeater. So what happens is the following code snippet shows sales order subform page. So this is the sales order subform page. So this is basically a full page, and this is the subform. So the subform page is auto split key true, delayed insert true, page type list part, source table. The source table is sales line, and the source table view is where document type is equal to filter order, and this order here is means our orders. Okay, now the layout is repeater. So to start with the repeater, we added field number, and type, description, all these things, blah blah blah. And this sales order subform will be used as a part and the sales order document page. Therefore, you should use control of type part instead of field. Within the part type, you can use the page link property to link two pages based on their primary key. The document page has a page type property of document in this case, and so this above one is a repeater that let you add repeated documents, and the following code snippet shown in sales order document page 42. So this sales order has this much of document sales header document sales order where order. So this is the layout. The whole layout is this, and there is a dot dot dot. This is basically blah blah blah. And then there is a part. So how we add it? So we add a group. A group is called general. So this is the group. This is called general, and it is having these much of data. Then sir, we have a part, and the part has sub page link document number is equal to field number update propagation both. And then we have a group called invoice details. So if we go again up, we have a group called invoice details. So our linking is just this. We are linking our part to this sales line, sales order subform, sub page link is equal to document number. So it is finding the document number, going to the field number, and update propagation both. So this much of is necessary and uh, useful to add the document item. So in the list part type is used to create subform that display records such as the sales line in the previous. However, the pages of type list part and card part are often used in fact box area. The information are located in the right side of page. The fact box area used to display more information about the entity that is displayed in the content area. So this is the right type part. To link the part with document page, use sub-page link property of part control. The following code snippet is shown as follow fact box. So this is the part. Then we are adding control customer detail fact box, and this is how. So to link the part with document page, what is happening? So this is the part customer detail. So look, there are so much part in the same page. One is this page. This is one part. Okay. Second is another this part. So this how this part is coming. If I'm going here, so this is a list part and connected to sales line. But this is also control. Sub page link number feed sales to customer number. So what is happening? It is taking this customer number and its detail is shown. If you want to display more information about selected item in sub sales order subform, the subpage link allows you to link the document page. Okay. So here the item detail invoicing is there. Then you can use initial record function. Most document and their corresponding table include several functions that are used often. For example, after number series is initiated, many other fields are initiated to default values. According to business process requirement, all such code is put into initial record function that is called. So following example show a snippet of information init record function in the sales header type. The function configures the initials field in sales header type and also set dates such as posting date and all. So what is initial? So when the document is open, how much of information should be there? That is being valued in initial function. So this is being very useful for all of our daily work. So initial record, you can see that when a new document is opened, this much of code should be run. So what this code is running, it is adding ship to address as ship to address. It is adding coordinates address. So these are the variables, and then it is be get sales setup is handled and initial. If the setup is default posting date, then it is taking default posting date. Okay. If the new order, then work order. So what is this doing is when you are opening a sales order, all the initial setup is coming from the setup tables. Okay. And the setup tables is giving all the data to you on the page, and that page is being used for your. So this is the initial setup, and on initial setup, all the data from setup tables is coming to document, so that that is being used for posting. So this is how the document is being used. So this is a test field. So let's say with the test field function, you can check if a field has a value in it or it is blank. If the field is empty, the test field function generates a runtime error. So this is giving you runtime errors. So you can also use test field function to test whether the field contains specific value or not. Okay, so let's say your customer dot salesperson code is equal to DK, and your customer dot test field is salesperson code and ZX. So when a function generate error, it produce a multilingual error with a translated caption property of the field. So the test field function is often used in on insert trigger of master and document. These functions test if a number series is configured with the setup table before assigning a new number to the record based on number of series. So what is this doing? So this is checking if it is having this okay or not. Okay, this is the test field. So you can see the test number series for get sales center. Easy law. So you can see that all the get sales table setup is going to do is, but in very niche I'm saying is that all the setup you have done is being used here by init function, and the test field is just used for the testing these parameters are filled or not. So then again use the round function. So let's say you want to round a function used to be numerical variable. So optional precision parameter determine the precision that is used you're rounding. If you don't specify a precision number, the read rounding function in coordinate 45 is called. The read rounding function returns a decimal value that is precision. By default, the read rounding function returns the amount rounding precision value. So is equal to, is greater than or less than. These are the three things. So following is the example. So decimal to round decimal, direction text, precision decimal, result decimal. So these are like a conditional formatting, you can say. So when you are rounding down to negative, so such as negative 1234.56789, it is rounded down to negative 1234.567. However, negative 1234.567 is mathematically greater value than this one. So when you rounding up negative number, smaller value. So this is a thing, round number. So new number is equal to round number, precision, and direction. So this is very important thing that we have discussed right now. Before starting this course, that what is important for us is Business Central is providing you a very performance driven and easy platform. The only thing you have to do is go through the whole platforms of functions that it is providing you, so that you can provide solution as quickly as you can. So to learn the whole, 3 months are enough. You can follow my live sessions, and we can complete the whole syllabus in 3 months. Thank you to all.